Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just a messenger coming at you with a little something, something for the people out there. I want to ask any pastor out there to answer this. In Corinthians, Paul talks about speaking in tongues. And he said, I speak in tongues more than any of you. But if you speak in tongues at church and there is no interpreter, don't do it. He said, I'd rather you say a few words that I can understand than 10,000 words that I can't understand. He said, I'd rather that you prophesy. He said, that way, if a person come in, a non-believer, and see you speaking in tongues, he's going to think you're a barbarian. But if he comes in and hear you prophesying, and God reveals the secret things of another man's heart to you, then he's edified. He said, when you speaking in tongues at church, you are edifying yourself. He said, do that at home, unless there's an interpreter. I've been to a bunch of churches. I've heard a bunch of speaking in tongues. Never no interpreter. Matter of fact, sometimes I'll be praying and somebody blah, 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 blah. I can't even concentrate on the prayer, or it's distracted sometimes. Or then you got pastors that's praying over you in tongues. You don't know what they saying, and there's no interpreter. I've never heard tongues being done in decency and order where there's an interpreter. And the reason why that is, for the most part, not all, but for the most part, tongues is the easiest spiritual gift to fake. Anybody could shabba-dabba-doo, in the Honda. Anybody could fake it, and whether you understand what they're doing or not. I had one pastor tell me, well, I interpret my own tongues to people. I said, oh, yeah, she lost it. That was just lunatic. That's a very lunatic answer. No one's following the scriptures as far as how to speak, when to speak, and when not to speak. And I want some pastoral feedback on this. I know y'all hear me. You're probably not going to say nothing, but why is it that this is not followed according to the way it's laid out? People just babbling off. They could be in a sermon and they see, and then keep speaking. No one understands what you're saying. How does it edify us when you are speaking in tongues and we can't understand you? It's self-edification. This is the word. This ain't right out. This ain't Marxism. This is the word. So please tell me, if you can't, do like Paul said, shut up at church. Do that at home. The people, I'm going to tell you something. When they spoke on the day of Pentecost, when the disciples spoke in tongues on the day of Pentecost, they didn't even know they were speaking in tongues. They were just speaking in their own language, and everybody was hearing it in their own language. So just let me know something, because it seemed like this stuff is not decent and is not in order. When you got folk speaking in tongues and no interpreter. What you think about that, babe? Folks speaking in tongues at church with no interpreter.
To me, they're just mumbling. If I don't understand it, what's the point?
Didn't Paul say, if you do it, have an interpreter? If not, do it at home?
Yeah, in the privacy of your own home, yeah.
I have not seen one pastor, even those who I admire, I have not seen one pastor ever speak in tongues at church with an interpreter. Some of y'all chime in on it, especially you tongue speakers. Y'all know who you are, especially on Facebook. I really need you to let the people know why you're doing it. One woman told me, well, we be speaking to them demons. Y'all, please, 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 please let me know something. Other than that, y'all out of order. Order in the court. All right then, peace.